Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. Welcome to the best emulation, open source, gaming, and tech news channel on YouTube. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off talking about an emulator that's been around for quite a long time, and that would be RAINE. RAINE is a multi-arcade system emulator heavily focused on Jaleco and Taito games. And the last time we talked about this one was about a year ago, and it's been going strong. So at that time they're on version 0.93, and now they've just released version 0.96. This one is 100% free, it's open source, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. Now version 0.96 is the first release since the beginning of June, and this website is extremely useful. If you hit extras here, you can pick up artwork for a whole bunch of different games. Again, check it out, the link is in the description below. Next up, we're talking about Nintendo Switch emulation on PC with Yuzu, and Yuzu got yet another update. This emulator has been on fire. So as of mainline version 1569, they've implemented the last part of Project YFC, where YFC stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano. This one fixes the level of detail problems in some games like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It fixes the lens flare effect in Luigi's Mansion 3. It fixes glow particles in Xenoblade 2 and 3. It allows shadows to be rendered in Metroid Prime Remastered, and this one is big. It implements host conditional rendering. It improves performance on low-end devices for games that use these quirks, like Super Mario Odyssey. And the paid testing early access version of Yuzu also got an update to 3897. And this one fixes Tiny Thor that was soft locked before starting the game. But moving on, and we're still talking about Switch emulation, but switching over to Ryujinx, and Ryujinx also got a brand new update. So as of version 1.1.1032, we've got a performance update. It improves performance in Mortal Kombat 1, and also R-Type Final 2, and other Unreal Engine 4 games. Next up, we're talking about Nintendo 3DS emulation on Android, with performance-based fork of Citra MMJ. And yes, Citra MMJ just got a brand new update. So this is the first update in about 3 weeks time here, and the changelog is a little bit unclear, but it appears there may be some performance updates. So here's the changelog for the updates. If you can directly translate this one, let me know in the comments below. All I've got is Google Translate, and it's a little bit confusing. It says Citra updates and modifies the geometry shader settings. The default automatic is the same as before, only a few games can use it if it is turned on. Turning it off can effectively improve performance. Even heavy-duty robots can run smoothly on the Mali GPU. Next up, we're talking about a potential video game actor strike that would impact a whole bunch of games in development. Apparently, the union voted today, and 98.32% of people were in favor of going on strike if conditions weren't met. As far as I know here, the main things they're looking for are wages that keep up with inflation, safety precautions, and protections against AI. And this might impact Activision Blizzard, EA, Insomniac, Epic Games, Take-Two, and WB. And we'll know more once September 28th rolls around. And speaking about EA, next up we're talking about EA and also FIFA. It's no secret that moving forward, EA will not have FIFA in the title of its soccer games. However, this is really bad for video game preservation. All prior entries in the series have been delisted from all major storefronts. Every FIFA title from 14 up to 23 cannot be purchased anymore. Now, someone will probably make the joke that not a whole lot had changed in the game from 2014 to 2023, but at the same time here, this is a bit of a bummer. I wish that even after licenses expired, the games that were released when licenses were intact stayed released. And this is one of the big problems of a digital future. And speaking about releases, next up we're talking about the fully remastered Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. The release for this is just around the corner on October 3rd, so mark that one in your calendars. And speaking about calendars, right now until October 2nd, we've got Shmup Fest on Steam. A whole bunch of shmups are on sale, including Beat Invaders, which is programmed using the open source game engine Godot. And this one's on sale for 50% off, and I do recommend checking it out. Now, if Beat Invaders is not your style, there's also a whole bunch of other shmups on sale, including Enter the Gungeon, Brotato, and more. Moving on, and we're talking about the gift that just keeps on giving, Vampire Survivors, and there's a brand new update on its way in the next few weeks called Whiteout. I'm not playing this trailer because it does say spoilers. However, this is going to be a free update, and it's going to be available for pretty much every single platform Vampire Survivors is on. This to me is absolutely amazing, and if you haven't checked out this game yet, what's stopping you? Next up, this is a real quick one. It's more of just a fun fact, but it appears that it's the 40th anniversary of Atari burying a whole bunch of games in the desert. A lot of those being E.T. Next up, this is another quick one. It's an update to yesterday's story about Sony being hacked, but Sony is looking into things. They're going to have to look pretty quick though, because the hacking group wanted to have an update by September 28th. Moving on, and we're talking about Linux, and although GNOME 45 has just released, there's already an update schedule for GNOME 46. Set your calendars for March 20th, which is a Wednesday, and that's when GNOME 46 is going to be a stable release. And talking about releases, ChimeraOS, which is a Linux distribution geared towards gaming, has just received a brand new release. At the time of filming, ChimeraOS 44 is the latest update. It features Linux kernel 6.5.3, Open Gamepad UI 0.21.7, which I think is built in Godot, and Mesa version 23.1.7. We've got a whole bunch of bug fixes, a whole bunch of performance improvements, and some tweaks here to a whole bunch of gaming handhelds. And last up here, we're talking about a ROM hack, and this is an English translation patch for Ultima Underworld for the PS1. It says here, after 27 years of being inaccessible to the West, the PSX port of Ultima Underworld has now received an English translation patch. Now, Ultima Underworld was released on PC, but the difference here on PS1 is that it's got different cinematics, creature models in 3D, anime portraits, and a control scheme designed for a controller. I'll drop a link to this page in the description below in the event that you are interested. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.